Joining us now in the studio is the founder and CEO of Squirrel Compliancy Solutions, Mr. Gilbert Bollinger. Gilbert, thanks for joining us today. Great to have you here. Can you give us an overview, sharing a little bit about your background before we begin?
Yeah, I think this will provide a lot of context about the topic that we're going to discuss. So I have been in the IT industry since 1996, and during that time period, I've done a variety of different roles: a Unix admin, a Windows admin, secure ID admin, network engineer, and I've worked in both private and public sector. And since I started in the mid-1990s, I survived the dot-com bubble, and shortly afterwards became a DoD employee. And it was there I got first-hand experience with STIGs and securing environments in a very challenging situation, meaning a war that was going on at that time. And then eventually I left the Department of Defense and Civil Service and joined Cisco Systems for 11.5 years as a solutions architect, covering everyone in federal. So I've been around the block a few times during that period of time, and it was really then I saw the challenges people were having defending their environments, and I saw that the problems I had as an engineer working within the Department of Defense still existed. And since I was working within the Department of Defense and also being loaned out to energy companies, state Supreme Courts, I saw everyone was having the same challenges in both private and public, and they're using the same software and still challenging those things. So I think I have a very unique knowledge and experience that allowed me to join or form this company. What you don't want happening is you don't want your best engineers going through and reviewing devices over and over and over again, one after another, right? To try to figure out if these things are being compliant or they have a vulnerability, because it just eats up time. And even on a network of 350 to 400 devices, you're dealing with 250,000 network interfaces that have to be reviewed for particular STIG requirements or vulnerability requirements. And that is crushing, right? It's breaking the system, right? And so what we did with our analysis engine, we modeled all that. And we do it, and we build the automation for our customers so they can just consume it. And we build it and we support it. And so that way, where our competitors fail is that their analysis engines are rudimentary. They have a lot of hard-coded and fixed values in them. They can only do one scenario. And if you don't follow that scenario because you're deploying the technology in a way that you need to use that technology, they give you false positives and false negatives. So another way of thinking about how we do analysis is, I'll use a Marvel universe kind of example. It's the multiverse of madness, right? There's infinite possibilities, infinite what-ifs that could happen out there. And how we do that within Squirrel Defender is we were able to model virtually most of those what-ifs, if not all those what-ifs, right? And so that allows us to deploy easily within your environments. It allows us to have the accuracy and precision and surgical remediation that is needed so we don't have unintended consequences, right? Our Army National Guard group that deployed Squirrel Defender, in this case, it was done the deployment started on Monday. It was finished on Wednesday. They have roughly 500 devices. We completed the audit roughly within like 5 minutes. And then in addition to that, on that third day, they said, well, we want to do some remediations now. They highlighted 35,000 findings and told Squirrel Defender, go fix these things for us. Now, we showed them the commands, so it's not a black box. So they knew what was going to happen. So they were able to review everything they want to review. Nothing's been hidden. They know what's going to be changed. 18 minutes later, 35,000 findings just disappeared on their network. The colonel comes over, asks this engineer, was this worth the investment? Did this fulfill our expectations? The engineer was like, yes, because if I had to go do this manually, it's going to take 6 to 9 months for me to do this with an army of people, and this is all we're doing. Customers need a robust solution that's curated, right? So we build the rules. We build all the automation. We support it. If you have a problem, you tell us. If it's a false positive, or if we happen to skip a use case scenario, we improve the automation and re-release it to the customers, right? So now what we want our customers doing is we want them being informed of what the problems are. We want them making good decisions with that information, and we want them closing those doors so an adversary doesn't use them, right, to break into these environments.